Should we turn that down?
Uh,
Or is that an acceptable level?
I was thinking it might be, but I also was thinking it might not be.
Right there. Yeah.
Alright. Oh, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, mic check. Can you hear us?
I think they can hear us.
1, 2, 1, 2, mic check.
Alright, guys, sorry.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? So it kind of like fades out when I do that. Not anymore.
Hey, wild souls. Take a breath with me. Right here, right now. We're on the edge of something new. Not because everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Not because you're ready. But because life whispered, it's time. Tonight, we're not rushing. Tonight, we're not forcing. We're honoring the mess, the courage, the holy discomfort of beginning again.
Man, this is kind of like when you're moving and you've got to go through all your stuff. And you're going to see what you're going to take with you and see what you're going to leave behind. Oh, this is going to be excited. Hello, Alba, Stephanie, Summer.
We are wrapping up April. April's theme was the power of starting over.
Yes.
We eased in with liminal space, and then we went into letting go and rediscovering self and rebuilding with intention.
And now
we are embracing new beginnings.
Yes.
From breakdown to breakthrough.
Mm-hmm. Practical steps to be able to do the things, guys. Do you want to start off? Do you want me to start off? What do we got?
I don't know. There's an illusion of starting over. What does starting over really mean? Is it truly starting from scratch, or are we just shifting form?
Yeah.
And carrying wisdom forward. What is starting over?
It's pivoting the direction of the path that you were currently on. It's not like you got to change paths. We're just looking to redirect. Which direction we really want to go? Because like the direction we're going right now on the path is like, maybe you're finding some resistance. That resistance is things, when you find resistance, it's you showing yourself like where changes need to be adjusted because it's not part of flow. It's not part of what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve. Good example we can jump right into. I need to get a stand for my snake cage, and a part of me wanted to put it here in my living room kitchen area. But man, it like is really limited. It has to be a certain color and style to fit with the rest of the things. It's got to be a certain height. It's got to have enough storage because it's got to double as a kitchen hutch. It's got all of these restrictions, all of this resistance, if you will. And then recognizing that it's too cold in here to keep the snake in here helped me decide that I'm going to put it in a different room. And putting it in that other room doesn't have any kind of like style to it, if you will. So I'm left free to be able to play with what kind of a stand I'm getting and what it's going to offer me and what kind of storage space is really going to be needed or wanted. And so I didn't have to like not get the stand. I just had to find a different place for it that allowed for me to have more flow with the decision making of making it happen. Yeah.
It's a really good example of recognizing and understanding the resistance that you're coming up on.
Mm-hmm.
But starting over is usually surrounded with some powerful emotions to get you to that point.
You're not wrong there.
To go with the resistance and flow into the new you, into the new beginning, into your new start.
Well, you know what's hard about that is like you have the resistance to want to change, but it's because it comes from that whole uncertainty aspect, right? You're like, I don't know about this. I haven't done this before. I have no experience. I don't know what's ahead.
Starting over is scary.
It is. Well, especially because it's like it's jumping without looking, right?
Starting a new job is a little bit scary, a little bit nerve-wracking.
And I had a really good quote for that too. And I wonder where it's at. I gotta see if I can find it.
Starting over alone, it could be lonely.
Lonely. Oh, so lonely. But
That fear, that anxiety can also be transmuted into excitement. If we can embrace the new beginning. Can I find it?
No. New beginnings don't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes they arrive with stillness, restlessness, discomfort. It's easy to miss a new start when it doesn't look dramatic. You know, we always want this big bang pop, you know, like, oh, this is my sign. Oh, this fell into place and this must be what I'm doing now. You know, it's not always that.
Even seeing the word new beginnings brings like a vision of a sunrise and warm colors and happiness. And it can be that. But that's not to say that it's not reverent and it's not painful and it's not scary. But fear versus readiness. What actually holds people back from the new beginnings? What holds people back from starting again? Is it the fear of failing? Is it the fear of no longer being who you once were and you're still trying to hold on to that old you? Am I making the right choice? What if I'm wrong?
What if your new beginning doesn't need a grand entrance, just your permission to start walking? You just take that step. I can't find it, but something, I'm gonna paraphrase it, is it was saying stepping into new beginnings often requires, oh wait, you know what? I think I know where it's at. Give me 3 seconds. No. Dang. Well, I'm gonna look for it after I say it. But basically, it often requires your what's the word I'm looking for when you decide to do something, like moving forward. Momentum. What's another word for momentum? We're getting closer to it. Taking action. Well, that we could go with taking action. When you're stepping into new beginnings, it often requires you to take action before having clarity. Clarity comes second. Doing the things comes first. When you start doing the things, clarity follows. So if you're stuck in that little brain time loop of, oh, like once I see the picture, I'll be ready to do it. Once I have an idea of what I want to do, I can do it. And to some degree, you know, you need to have that idea.
So to answer that scary question, what if I'm wrong? You'll never know if you don't try.
Well, and what if it's not about being wrong? Perspective is everything, right? So there's no such thing as a wrong move. You could say you could look at it as in terms of effectiveness towards what you're trying to achieve. It may not have been very effective, the results at any rate, but maybe the experience gives you enough that you can move forward in a more effective fashion. You know, that's not necessarily about, oh, I went the wrong way here. Oh, I did it wrong. Oh, I didn't. It's just, oh, okay, so this result wasn't quite what I was looking for. How do I pivot that just a little bit to get a better result? How do I pivot that a little bit to get this different result? Who can I talk to? Where can I go? What information can I find? Whatever it is, you know? So I think being able to give yourself the perspective switch of jumping from what if I'm wrong into what is this teaching me? How effective was this? How efficient did it make the things? Like my buddy Solari said, you know, you've got to ask yourself if you are trying to build a lifestyle of intent or if you're doing something to distract yourself from that lifestyle.
That's good. There's this article by the Tiny Buddha on the 6 lessons to embrace change. and they are beautiful and powerful. And the first one is to reduce your expectations.
Gosh, and that was a huge one.
So when we're stepping into something new, gosh, I can't even remember what you said, but it sounded like a lot like that. When you're stepping into something new and you have all these expectations for how it's supposed to be, you won't know until you try it. When you start it, you might think that the outcome needs to be A. But once you start on it and start taking the steps and getting the feeling for it, you could come to realize halfway through it that you don't want to get to A. That's not what you want anymore. You want to get to C over here, halfway through getting to A.
Or it's something where you thought it was going to get you to A, but it's getting you over here to C. And then it's asking yourself, is C a better option? Does C tie me into A at any point? Like, do I like the direction it's taking me, and what can I do with that? Be open to not having to stick to your final expectation, but allowing it to grow with you. Because think about it.
Which goes into number 2, accept the change.
Yes. Because, I mean, think about it, guys. Like, as you do things, you grow this understanding of it. And as you have an understanding, the way you do the things change, right? Like how you do your job, how efficient you were from day one to how you are now with all of those things. So then it's looking at that in the same light with any new thing that you're stepping into is, all right, I have a mission. I have an end goal. That's great. I can keep it in sight. But as I learn and understand the things that I'm doing to get to this goal, I may have an upgrade or a different understanding of what the approach is of where I'm going to go. So I don't need to hold so solidly to this goal. It can be malleable. It can stretch. It can condense. It can do a bunch of different things. Allow it to do its things and see what the end result is and see if you're there for it.
Reduce your expectations is number 1. Number 2 is acknowledge the change, not accept. Number 3 is accept the change.
Mm-hmm.
And number 4 is learn from the experience. And then recognize your growth and embrace the wisdom.
That's beautiful. That's like a really clean cut. What step am I on in the process that I'm currently working?
Embrace the change. We're stepping into the new beginnings. Oh, the spring energy is there. It is so felt, man.
I tell you guys, when you really start to recognize yourself, what makes you you, what makes you smile, what makes you happy, the way you like to express yourself, whether it's being wild, it's being funny, being bratty, what have you, like you will get to a chance to be like, this is me. And I get to just openly do this. And openly being me sets me up for so many opportunities. It's
off camera, just barely.
I know, I do that on purpose. No, I don't. Maybe not entirely on purpose, subconsciously on purpose. I always find myself here by the time the show's over. Anyway.
Sorry.
I forgot where I was at. It is what it is. Change. Accept it, acknowledge it, learn from it, the whole 9. The beautiful thing about accepting change is you're allowing yourself to self-express. And you're allowing yourself to be okay with self-expressing and how that comes out, regardless of how others perceive it.
That fear of letting go of the old you. You should say that quote at the end. That was powerful. The fear of no longer being who you are.
No, that's at the very end for a reason. Nay.
Fine.
Nay.
You guys have to wait.
Yep. The only difference between fear and excitement is the story you tell yourself about what's coming. Are you scared because it's wrong or because it's unfamiliar and meaningful? That's another thing. It's kind of a form of having to hold yourself accountable. You see this big grand thing and it feels like a lot of responsibility to take on. Remember, in that moment where the responsibility feels heavy, that's because you are futurescaping and taking on that whole moment at once. And it's so heavy because you haven't experienced even the beginning of it. So recognizing that heaviness comes from a lack of understanding, and just pick that heaviness up, put it on the shelf and be like, I'll be back. I'm on my way up to you. But right now, I just need to focus on this little circle right here. And that's going to be the start. don't stress the heaviness of accountability. As you grow with what you learn, what you do, what you step into, the accountability comes naturally. It's not as heavy as it feels. And it comes on in such thin layers that sometimes you can get like 5, 6, 7 things going at once. And you're like, oh man, look at that.
Be here now. A lot of what we're doing, a lot of what we're talking about is going into the future and going back into the past. But the whole point of this is to be happy and comfortable here and now.
No, not comfortable. Uncomfortable. Comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm.
Because the more that you step into yourself, the more you realize you have so much more to just jump into.
And you becomes home when you get comfortable with it. So yes, you have to get through the comfortable, but the whole going into the past and into the future is to find that peace within ourselves.
Something that you can do, a real quick exercise with that. Sit for a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath, get yourself in that little Zen state. Picture your past self and your future self coming to the moment that you are in now. It takes all of the cluttered thoughts with it, and it just becomes this core condensed, I am in this moment. What can I do with it? And you don't feel so pulled in a million directions, fighting your past, jumping towards your future. You get to just focus on now. So that's like a good way to like ground for a second if you feel like life is coming at you too fast and heavy. If the choices feel too hard to make.
Louis L'Amour said, "There will come a time when you believe everything is finished. That is the beginning."
Yes. And it's the beginning because you have finally touched uncharted territory. You finally ran the expanse of your wisdom, and now you are compiling new stuff. So it feels like you are at the epitome of everything. You figured it all out. Life is going. Life is great. And it's not like, oh no, tribulations and trials again. No, but it's like, oh man, I get to have new understandings and discoveries. And like the slate is clean. Like I don't have anything to go off of in this new direction, but watch it build itself.
Ooh, love this.
You don't have to be ready. You just have to be willing. Waiting until you're ready is often disguised as a delay tactic. Most new beginnings require courage first, clarity second. There it is. Courage first, clarity second.
How do we know we're not releasing? How do we know we are releasing and not running?
Training wheels got to come off at some point, guys.
You have to consciously release it. If we are holding on, then we are self-sabotaging. You are purposely dragging that chain behind you.
Yeah. Could you imagine, you guys, if we could see
it harder?
If we could see each other's energetic chains, like the things we would say to those people, like, buddy, hold on a second. I've got that key right here. Let me unchain that chain for you, please. Please, I don't know why you're walking around with it. Do you see the trench behind you? Oh my gosh.
Aww,
let it go.
That's the whole point of this group.
Yes. Learning how to step into the new you. Letting go of all the things that no longer serve you. Gosh, doesn't that just feel so redundant? We've said it so many times. Let go of what doesn't serve you, guys. Let it go.
That's okay. We're just going to put those on like t-shirts.
Oh my gosh.
And put your face next to it.
Ta-da.
It's all about perspective.
So it is though. What's one small brave thing you can say yes to today, even before you feel ready? Ooh.
One thing that you could. What?
One small thing, one small brave thing you can say yes to today, even before you feel ready. That could be like signing up for a quote or a like a one-on-one session with somebody for their profession, for the profession that you want to get into. That could be like, hey, I just want to job shadow you for a day so I can see if this is something I want to do. Like, you don't even have to like physically call that person, but the first step could be going through and getting a list of numbers, you know?
Or even as small as not shying away from confrontation today.
Ooh, that's a good one. I bet that tugged on some heartstrings.
I am going to welcome confrontation, not with fear.
But with open arms, love, and understanding. Confrontation does not have to be an icky thing. It's not an icky thing. It's a chance to be able, what do I always say? Confrontation is I
don't know, but we should put that on a sweater too.
We should. Confrontation is an invitation to conversation.
There you go.
One begets the other. And conversation, if you can remember that that confrontation invites conversation, it puts you in the mindset of having an inviting conversation with somebody. Like, look, I'm not here to attack you. I'm here to just discuss this. Look, I didn't like the way you came at me with that, so I'd like a moment to be able to talk about it. Get comfortable with that. You don't even have to necessarily have the talk with the person, but just saying your piece, being like, hey, I don't really want to talk about this. I don't feel comfortable talking about it, at least not right now, but I really didn't like the way that whole thing played out. And then you can just leave it. You just be like, and I just need that to be enough for now. You just start with the little things.
Start taking the steps.
Look at that.
Start taking the steps that feel the way that you want to be, even if it's scary.
Well, and you just start with your kids. I'm not going to lie. Like, how many of you guys have an awesome, open communication style relationship with your kids? That's like a really hard one to really do, especially when you're trying to get out of the mode of I'm an adult parent parenting a child kid and getting into the mindset of like, I am an adult teaching this kid how to be a human. What would that look like? What does that look like? Oh, I'm seeing that I want to have open communication. So, hey, kid, I'm going to tell you right now. I don't like the way you talk to me when we talk about having your room clean. I don't like the attitude you give me. And I'd like to be able to discuss why you feel this way. What's causing you to react like this? Can we come to a solid understanding between the two of us to talk more about the things that we don't like in the moment that they're happening? And kids are easier because they're more open to talking with mom and being vulnerable, or dad being vulnerable. But man, like, start somewhere where it feels easiest and work your way into the harder stuff. Don't shy away completely, because
no matter which new beginning you are having or going through or experiencing, good communication and open communication would be vital.
When you say that, it makes me feel like there are layers. Like, you could have multiple new beginnings. I have a new beginning in my work life, and then in my social life, and then my personal life.
Absolutely.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's just like an overhaul.
This whole what is April? The power of starting over. You start over a million times everywhere. It's not just starting over your entire life, because you'd have to die in order to start over your life again. But like a new relationship, a new job, that's scary in and of itself. When you go from a different career to a new one, when you go from having this long-standing career to starting a new one, or this long-standing relationship and starting a new one, or starting over on your own.
I guess what I would like to say with that perspective is, guys, you don't have to do everything all at once. You can start with a new beginning that's comfortable for you and ease yourself into other new beginnings, because when I see new beginning, for me, it's an overhaul. It's everything happening all at once. I like my social life is but that's how I'm seeing it. Like, my social life is changing. My work life is dramatically changing. Hell, like the way I am thinking and carrying myself and the habits that I'm forming for myself.
Well, you're pulling from personal experience, as we discuss a lot of this.
Right.
A lot of it does resonate with a lot of parts of our personal life. But we're also trying to be general to
that's what I'm saying, though.
Guys.
But that perspective never really, to be able to look at it, I can take this one thing at a time, instead of I've got all these little things that are coming at me at once, but since they're little, I can handle them all. And it's such a different perspective. It kind of gives me a breath of fresh air. Oh, fuck.
You took some weight off your shoulder.
I don't have to do everything. I don't have to hold my arms out and hope to catch all of the raindrops. I can have a cup and just catch them.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, each time we start over, I don't know about you, but each starting over feels like I failed. So I have to do something different. Now I have to rebuild again. And it's like
You know?
admitting defeat and starting over, be it a career, be it a relationship, what have you. There's a little bit of underlying uh, shame that I didn't see it to the end.
Oh, there it is. You know, I did for a long time. I wouldn't necessarily say like shame in the failure as much as like I gave it so much hype. I gave it so much hype. I told so many people about what I was doing. I figured the more people I told, the more I'd hold myself accountable because there's so many people that know about it. And you get to be excited and it's self-validating, but it's kind of its own trap because then when you do burn out, when you do fail, you fail hard in a sense, or you feel the failing harder because there's so many people that are recognizing that you once again did not follow through with something you said you wanted to do. And we don't, or I didn't recognize it as it's just not in alignment with what I want to do with my life long term. It's too much energy commitment, too much brain time, too much actual time away from home, whatever it is, you know? So, being able to look at it and flip the lens and say, all right, so I'm just recognizing what I don't want to do. And I get to learn some valuable skills in the future
That perspective
that will
shift.
help.
That perspective shift was powerful. I didn't fail. I had that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And taking that back took all the power away from it. I didn't fail in that marriage that didn't go all the way to the end. I wanted to because, outside influences and other things told me, and I believed that in order to be successful, you had to have a marriage that went all the way to the end.
Yep.
But that didn't align with me. That wasn't what resonated in me. I wasn't happy in that marriage. That's not where I wanted to be. I didn't feel valued in all the things that were important to me. So I left, and accepting that it wasn't a failure. That was my experience, and it was powerful. And I have 2 beautiful kids, and I learned so much in the 5 years I was married. And it is,
you guys, if you can remember,
rippled through my life.
If you can remember that every experience is about what you take away from it.
That's what you make it. Well, everything is neutral until you give it.
Yes, until you give it the power you want to give it. But like at the end of the day, they're experiences. Every single moment of your life is nothing but experiences. When you can look at them objectively as experiences and not this terrible Tuesday or this, oh, thank goodness it's Friday. Oh man, I live for my weekend warriorness. Like letting go of all of that and being able to be excited for the experiences as they come. And you're going to have your moments. You're going to be run down. You're going to be thinking, gosh, it's Friday. Oh man, it's only Monday. Like you'll have those days. I'm not saying you can't. I am saying the more that you look at everything that happens in your life as an experience, it allows you the opportunity to filter out the negative in that experience. And it's not and
find the joy.
Yeah, well, and it's not so much finding the joy, but it's finding the positivity. Like, think about it. Like, I've got a friend that's been working for...
allowing yourself to feel good.
Well, and I've got a friend that's been working for a company for a while now, and she does not like it. She does not like it one bit. But I got to, like, have a talk with her and be like, hey, I know you don't like this job. You can start looking in the meantime, because once you know you don't like a job, it's time to start looking, because it's only a matter of time before you quit or get fired due to behavioral issues, what have you. But right. now that you know you don't want this job anymore, now that you know you want something better, like this is where you can make it fun. You can start experimenting with what works for your job, because you don't have to have a fear of losing your job, because at the end of the day, if they fire you, you're not going to be sad about it anyway, right? So that's the kind of perspective shift I'm talking about. It's not necessarily that you've got to find the joy or the happiness or the good in the experience. It's finding what intrigues you, what makes you want to explore, what puts the smile on your face.
What gets you excited.
Mm-hmm. Because there's something in every situation, and there's something in every situation, even if it's just one thing that you can hold on to that is the excitement of the experience. And if there's literally nothing exciting about that experience, watch how fast it disappears out of your field, because you're choosing that's not the kind of energy you want to entertain.
Life is supposed to feel good. Allow yourself to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself permission to feel good.
I like that. Positivity is joy. Joy isn't always positivity, but positivity is always joy. And I know that sounds a little bit off kilter, but like, joy can be faked, joy can be forced, joy can be a lot of things, but positivity is just positivity, and it brings a form of joy. It elicits the feeling. Yeah.
You really broke that down.
What do you think? Tell me.
I don't know. There was so much in that. Braden had 3 shots of espresso in his coffee, so I don't know if you noticed that difference today, but he's got a lot of energy.
Plus the other ones, there's 4
And
total.
this is just exciting. We're wrapping up April, and it is just,
you guys,
it feels good, man. It feels good.
And if you're following through with the month of April, if you're doing the things,
and the 30 days of Hicks.
Yeah, and if you're doing these things, man, if you are incorporating them, integrating them into your life's got to be at least interesting by this point. You know, like
2025 is powerful. It's just a powerful force to be reckoned with, man.
Really, I feel that.
How do we honor our past without dragging it like a freaking corpse? How do we honor our past? Integrate this story without being defined by it. I have a beautiful...
Before we jump into that, because I think we should, we have recognizing delayed disguises, and I just want to hit that real quick. We often stall our new beginnings without realizing it. Perfectionism, over-planning, waiting for a sign, seeking validation, or saying, after I fix this one thing. These feel productive, but they're camouflaged hesitation. What excuse do you dress up as logic, and what's the truth behind it? Is this a pause for alignment, or is this pause rooted in fear? Just some food for thought.
How do we know when it's time to stop preparing and start beginning?
When I can answer that. When you have death scrolled the topic that you are currently trying to step into, looking for that inspirational first step. That is when you accrued enough information and it's time to start doing the do. And the first step is never feckin' perfect. It's not going to push you into a run. The first step, more often than not, is messy because you don't know anything about what you're doing, but you're going to do it anyway.
You really got to admit to yourself that you are stalling.
Yep, you do. Holding yourself accountable, acknowledging the fact that you've got to start doing something little. Like I'm stalling on getting dot cards, and I don't know why. I know I could do it. I don't know why I haven't. But I guess, like if I put it up as a tab on my internet screen, that could be a potential, especially because I don't keep tabs.
Your process is so different from mine, and it's so funny to hear how you go about this whole thing.
What do you mean?
Well, because I have my stipulation on my business cards.
What's your stipulation?
Finish my class.
Oh.
When I finish my life coaching class.
Oh, that's smart. See, if I do that, I'm not going to have cards until I don't know when. And I want to be able to get people into the know of what I'm doing. So I feel like cards is my next step, even before I finish the life coaching course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It might change for me, but I felt that hard when you talked about your dot cards. I was like, ooh. Yeah, I don't need business cards right now. I have enough.
That's awesome.
I've got my links. I've got... Yeah.
I feel like it'll spur me to do more. Because, look, now I got people looking at me. They're there. They're checking out the site. Yeah, exactly. So then I got to start.
On the internet forever. Now you got to do it.
Got to start doing the things. Yep. But more so, and I think the dot cards for me, I see an opportunity to socialize, to be able to get comfortable with networking, start bringing in more. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I can't talk to you right now.
Really put that past job experience to use.
Yeah, well, yeah. That was the start of it, getting comfortable. I used to go door to door knocking and asking people if they wanted to sign up for a quote for things. And I did it. It was the first job I ever took that I did solely so that I could get comfortable with socializing with strangers. Because, like, once you get me talking, I won't shut up. But getting me to
Open
start
up.
open up and saying hi to a random person. If they're not talking to me first, forget it. I'll sit there and look like the awkward guy sitting at the bar, sipping too many drinks, being way too quiet, not knowing what to say or do with anybody. That's me. And so that was my getting out of that shell, which is great because it was super validating to do a job specifically for a skill set versus for payment for the wage that it provides. And the wage was great. Don't get me wrong. Like, for going door to door and talking to people, you couldn't ask for better. But really, that was my takeaway. And then when I got enough of that, and I felt like the company was not taking care of its employees the way it should, I walked away, and that was also a great feeling because I didn't feel obligated to stick around just because they couldn't keep people. And I learned the skill set enough
Just
to be able to get
shifting
my
the
shoe in the door.
perspective of working a job that you enjoy and not staying because you felt obligated. Because there was a huge, I don't know if it was just the way that we were initially raised, but work ethic was everything. You give your all.
Yeah, and you stuck it out.
Mm,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that so hard. But like for me, jobs have always been about money, right? Like how
Mhm.
many of you guys pick a job because of what it provides, not because what it teaches or what it allows you to do? And so taking a job on for the skill set it gave me, because I'm not gonna lie, like that, I didn't like having to go out and talk to people. I had to talk myself up every day. Like, okay, I gotta go knock on this rando's door and hope we can have a decent conversation, and I cannot just like, and I've got to stick to a script, but I also got to find a way to be able to like instigate more conversation. I don't know how I'm going to do this, you know?
Starting a new job,
Yeah,
a new beginning.
Yeah,
right there.
exactly. So going through that, but having that perspective switch of doing something skill based instead of money based allowed me to break a part of the scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset is huge. I would love, can we just make that the topic for May? Because there are so many different ways that scarcity mindset shows up, and we could dedicate a talk to each of them.
Oh my
Potential.
goodness.
We'll think about it. Talk more about
we'll
it
talk to Sage and Shadow
and collaborate.
Yeah.
But anyway, the scarcity mindset in that is that you feel like you have to find a providing job in order to make ends meet. And that takes you away from the belief system of I can do something that I enjoy or do something that teaches me a skill set that's going to further me into my own growth. And when you can have that perspective switch and you can start doing things because it furthers your own growth of self, you'll see how much the universe takes care of you, how much you are provided for, how much you can let go of that scarcity mindset is so huge, you guys. It is one of the biggest stumbling blocks.
To feel good.
Well, and it's generational. Like our parents I can't even explain to you how much our parents have put a scarcity mindset on you, and it goes generation to generation. It goes from a society standpoint. Like there's a lot of different aspects that tie into it. Like I've been studying. A lot of
what you learn comes from your childhood.
You're not wrong. Well, and I've been studying the whole scarcity mindset since I was 25. I had a talk with my boss back then, and he put me onto what a scarcity mindset is, and from there I dove deep. And yeah, such a vast topic. Anyhow, back to what we were talking about.
An its own episode.
At least an episode.
Or 3.
We'll see. We shall see. We shall see.
So how can we honor our past without dragging it around like a corpse?
Ooh. Reframe the direction, not the desire. What do you have on that? For how can we... What did you say?
Honor our past without dragging it like a corpse.
Integrate the story without being defined by it. I think this
goes back into, I feel like being here now, which also, that's where the Alan Watts video, that's what I was saying. I have an Alan Watts video that I will share after the live ends that really goes into this. And he talks about this metaphor of a boat on the ocean. as it's going through the water, it leaves a ripple behind. And that's our past. And because of the ripples, you know where the boat has been. But they don't stay there.
They
They
dissipate.
dissipate.
Yes, I love that.
It's
Ooh.
not the ripples that propel the boat forward. Our past doesn't define us now. We are here. We are here now. We are the way we are right now because we are choosing to be this way now. We choose. We are intentionally choosing to be the way that we want to be.
Man, so like when you're holding on to your past, that's like you reaching out to the side of your boat, trying to make more freaking ripples. You're like, I've seen the ripples. I know what they are. Let me create more of them.
The ripples tell the story of where we have been.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't define now. We choose now.
I love that. Yeah, going back to that practice I was talking about earlier, guys. Bringing your past self and your future self together at the same point of the now. It's crazy how powerful that little exercise is. Yeah, I like it. It's a really good trigger start for momentum.
It is. I can feel it.
Sometimes we think we have to abandon a dream because the first path didn't work, but often the dream was true. The approach just needed adjusting. New beginnings aren't about starting over from scratch. They're about pivoting with wisdom. What if you're not lost, just facing a different direction? How can I move with my desire instead of trying to force it down the old road? Quit dredging up the past. Allow yourself to be able to act in the now. And I like that whole forcing it down the old road. And then it went even farther, and it said, "You don't."
Just want you to say the freaking quote.
You know. Should we start with the quote then, and then go to the exercise?
It's just so powerful.
It is. That's kind of why I wanted to say.
And it goes into like each question as you're saying, like, oh. It could just be repeated each time.
All right. I'll just pull it out. I'll bust it out. Let's see here.
When you ask for the notes again, that's
the truth bomb. You're not stuck. You're just loyal to a version of the path that no longer fits who you are becoming. The dream is still alive. It just doesn't want to walk in shoes that don't fit anymore.
The old you, the shoes don't fit anymore. Yep. That's the uncomfortable. That's the resistance. The shoes that you keep trying to put back on don't fit anymore.
They're either broken.
Go.
Yep. They've done their part. They've seen the action. It's time to get a new pair. Ones that are comfy, ones that fit nicely. Ones that are built for the intention of your new life.
What does this clean slate require from us? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to start this new beginning. What does this clean slate require? Are we asking for a new chapter but refusing to put the old book down? Are we still trying to put on those old shoes? What is the resistance to starting?
It's really where you got to get to with it. That's the core of everything.
Get rid of that and take the step. Be honest with yourself.
Man. Do the things. They're not as hard as you make them out to be. And it goes back to that whole, if you sit there and think about the experience before even doing it, you're making yourself do it twice.
That was so powerful.
And sometimes that's super helpful. You get a good feel for what you're doing, but it also can be to your detriment because maybe you don't actually know. And then you're living out two different scenarios, and one of them wasn't even necessary. And it was a thought up imitation of what the real product is. Don't get caught up in your assumptions, your assumptions. Don't do it.
Yes, Steph. Yes.
Oh, she said something about a book called The Dress Lodger. And I would like to know what that's about. Miss Stephanie Hybert. All right. are we ready to jump into the guided
Let's
meditation?
get into your guided meditation.
Okay,
Oh,
you guys.
Beautiful.
Let's have a moment of zenness.
Get comfy, get comfortable for this guided meditation. Get a drink, get a snack, settle down.
Get ready to do the things. All right. I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes while you guys get situated. I feel like I rushed this part.
Breathe in.
Every time I hear stuff about breath work, it always makes me
Breathe
think
out.
of Lamaze. Lamaze practices. Lamaze. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Deep breath in. I don't know. Guided breathing is always more calming. It's silly to follow along with, but
It helps.
and out. It's like a wave. Let the wave roll in through your nose. And just like the wave goes in and then pauses at the top, and then it flows out. Don't force it, just.
All right, here we go. Take a moment now to settle into your body. Close your eyes, breathe in deeply, and exhale slowly. Let the day soften. Let the noise drop away. This moment is yours. With your eyes closed, begin to imagine a path forming beneath your feet. Earthly quiet, alive with the whisper of possibility. The trees around you part gently, as though they know you're coming. The light ahead is soft and golden, a new beginning waiting to greet you. As you walk this path, notice what you're carrying, not in your hands, but in your body, in your breath, and the stories that whisper just beneath the surface. Feel the weight of old beliefs, outdated identities, roles you never asked for but played so well. You've walked far with them. They've shaped you, protected you, and now they're ready to rest. To your left, the path widens into a clearing. In the center stands a monument, ancient, familiar, almost like it's been waiting for you. This is the place where the old versions of you are honored, a sacred pedestal to lay down what no longer needs to be carried. One by one, begin placing these pieces upon the monument, not with resentment, but with reverence. Name them if you wish: the protector, the pleaser, the overachiever, the doubter. Whatever surfaces, let it be laid down softly and lovingly. Thank them for what they've done, because you no longer need them to lead. Take a deep breath. Feel how much lighter you've become. Now turn gently from this monument, and that's when you see it, the doorway, freestanding in the middle of this sacred clearing. The frame is carved with symbols only you can understand. This doorway is not locked, and in your hand you discover a fresh set of keys. Glimmering, worn, they hum with the frequency of who you're becoming. Step closer, breathe in, place the key into the lock, and open the door. As you cross the threshold, feel the energy shift. The air is clear, the world ahead is wide. You're not stepping into something foreign, you're stepping into something true. In this new space, there are no expectations, no roles to play, only your voice, your presence, and the path you are choosing to walk with intention. Take a deep breath and ask yourself gently, who am I now that I am free to begin again? When you're ready, return to your body, wiggle your fingers, your toes, open your eyes gently, and welcome the version of you that just crossed the threshold. Now I'm going to slowly invite you guys back into the live, pulling you away from what you just experienced. And I don't know, should we end with that? Take this feeling that you have, guys, and really amplify it. Sit with it. Treat it like a new friend. Have a discussion with this new feeling of you. Because this is the beginning. The fresh start.
What did the new you look like?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
When you stepped through that doorway.
What did you feel going through that doorway? What's your doorway look like? And what was the first thing you saw on the other side of the threshold? Makes me want to redo this exercise. Oh, my nose is so itchy.
My power takes the form of a crown.
Wow.
That's just my experience. Part of taking back my power. Finding my center. Act like the regal queen. Queens don't go running around screaming their heads off. Sometimes they do.
Mine feels like an overpowered LED light, just shining from within to without. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us in the comments.
Yes.
And Steph said she felt a feeling of love.
Ooh.
She saw a beautiful family. And her name is pronounced Stephanie Hebert.
Hebert. I always say
I
Hebert.
before E says E. Hebert.
I got a little.
E before I says I.
So
I got you, sis.
So my daughter's name is technically Kenzlai.
Well,
because the I is after the E.
You know what? We're not going to have this debate on the live.
What? No, I think it's great. I just think it's funny that's like, I mean, my name is pronounced really weird by AI. I tell you what. Braid Han. I'm just Braden. It's just a soft A. I'm dead.
Thanks for watching. Love you.
This was a great session, you guys. Thanks for being a part of it.
If tonight stirred something in you, let it stay stirred. Like Braden said, sit with the feeling. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need presence. A spark.
Yes. Presence.
A fuck it. I'm doing this anyways. Kind of fire.
And don't be afraid to reach out to us.
Is not a weakness.
Questions.
It's sacred. It's alchemy. And you
are doing the things.
You were born to rise from your ashes.
Ooh, like the badass you are.
Mm-hmm.
Punisher
Step into that power.
Oh. Not Punisher. I was thinking Ghost Rider. But we could go Phoenix if you want. It's fine.
I mean, those are really murdery.
I don't know. Like Ghost Rider, man, he was pretty badass. Sure, it was murdery, but like,
that's not bad.
We could look at it as like those things that he murdered. Those
I mean,
like
I
the
can see the like
himself.
Ghost Rider fire around like power.
Yeah,
I suppose.
And he's got that motorcycle, and he's like, "I'm a badass."
That kind of power, not the Punisher.
Well, I mean, either of those, like you're just punishing the negative parts of yourself that no longer need to be in your life. Sometimes it takes like a strong arm to get them out of there.
Your snake is active. It keeps tripping me up. There's stuff behind you moving.
All right, guys, this is where we're calling it.
Happy Wednesday.
Bye-bye.